A group formed this year by executives and lobbyists for the defense contracting industry is bragging about making Republicans more hawkish. So Americans for Peace, Prosperity, and Security, or APPS as they're called, quote, was formed by current and former officials from Raytheon and other major defense contractors. Lobbyists who represented the defense industry are also involved. Now, let's reflect on that name for a second here, because this is telling, and this is one of the oldest tricks in the book. The Patriot Act. You're against it? I guess you're unpatriotic. The I Love America, it's the best country ever Act. You're against it? I guess you hate America. Look at what they name themselves. Americans for Peace, Prosperity, and Security. Americans for Peace is the first thing there. And what are they? They're a coalition of fucking defense contractors. Defense contractors. Really, they're offense contractors. They build military shit, weaponry, tanks, planes, and they make a lot of fucking money off it. So as they profit off war, which means they would want more war, they're like, let's name our group Americans for Peace, Prosperity, and Security. Orwell absolutely nailed it. That's all you can say about that. So in an email to their supporters, they bragged about Republicans coming to their events and saying stuff that's going to help their company. So Ben Carson, for example, said, quote, "Do we want to contain ISIS or do we want to destroy them? I vote for the latter because you know they want to destroy us and there's no such thing as containing people like that." So the defense contracting people hear this and they get hard. They're like, oh, yes, we can make more weapons, more tanks, more fighter jets, more equipment. And he wants an actual war. He wants to go to war and destroy them, kill every last one of them. That means we could be at war forever, which means me make a lot of money. Yes. Lindsey Graham, quote, "I am sick and tired of hearing people on my side avoid the idea of an American ground component." Boy, do they love this stuff. This is what they're bragging about in their internal email. They're bragging about Republican politicians being more hawkish because they lobbied them. This is a democracy? This is a fucking oligarchy and a kleptocracy. And Dwight Eisenhower was right when he said, beware the military-industrial complex, because if war is super profitable and some people get really rich off of war, they are going to want more war because they're not personally fighting, they're not personally losing anything, and they're getting really fucking rich. So they get money, they lobby politicians, give politicians money so that they win their elections, and then when they're in office, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I gave you money when you ran. Are you going to give me that no bid contract to build more tanks? Yes or no? You're going to do it, right? Oh, we can't have the tanks just sit there endlessly. I gotta make more money and build more stuff. I guess we should probably sell these to a dictatorship somewhere around the world, or we should get involved and do a ground war and use more of our equipment so we can keep making more equipment and we can keep making more money and I can keep paying you off on the back end so that you keep the cycle going as well. Oh, look at this system we've set up, man. We have to stand up and fight back against this. We have to get money out of the political system so you remove the poor incentive structure. If ExxonMobil and Wall Street and defense contractors are paying politicians, they're gonna fucking represent ExxonMobil and Wall Street and defense contractors. If the people are paying the politicians because we have publicly financed clean elections, they're much more likely to represent the people. So you have an actual debate of competing political philosophies as opposed to a debate of dueling donors and big money interests, where, for example, the Democrats might be representing lawyers more or teachers' unions more, because that's who they get their money from. And the Republicans are just swimming in Wall Street cash and defense contractor cash, so they get what they want. And actually, I'm being too kind to the Democrats because they take money from Wall Street now too, so both parties are corrupt in that sense. So we have to put an end to it, because if we don't, not only is the corruption going to continue domestically, it's going to continue with foreign policy too. And that's a life or death situation, because we're going to have blood on our hands because we keep waging more and more and more wars.